first off, I want to say that I'm sorry if like the background doesn't look as good and it's a little. Hold on, let me clean the camera screen. Okay. So I wanted to go over this because I don't think that you'd be able to get much from the content without me like being like, hey, this is what this is, right? So I'll just kind of go over it, what I have first for you, and then what you're going to be finding. So the big thing that I go over here is the 8 keys of manifestation, and I'll kind of go into that. But there's a couple different things that I think that you would really like find cool here. So first off, some of the things that I included with this is our self-care journal. This is really cool because gratitude is a great way in order to like receive your meditation. I always say that like prayer in a sense is just thanking for what we have. Like prayer to me is like a gratitude in order to make it happen. It talks about your water intake, affirmations. Affirmations are crazy good in order to like train your subconscious mind, right? And then we have moods. We can take intact what you want to do for tomorrow, your date's self-care journal, right? We have a daily planner. So this looks like, okay, well, I want to do my stuff this time and this time. Talks about top priorities, your water intake, who to call, who to email, things that are making you grateful, right? That's just kind of like something beneficial. You can print this out as many times as you want. We have a self-reflection and awareness page. Basically, this is really important to, I believe, to self-reflect. It's like, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for today? How do I feel right now? What might be causing these feelings? What are positive qualities I see within myself? And what happens when I like to change or improve my life? I think that you should at least once a month or once every couple of weeks sit down and do the self-reflection journal, because the whole process that we're talking about is trying to shift your mindset, and that self-reflection really lets you know where you're at with it. And make sure to put the date on it because there's a date slot, okay? Next one we have is a mindfulness journal. So the mindfulness journal talks about like what are your feelings on something, your discomforts, and the lessons that you're learning from it. Your mindfulness tracker, like how are you doing on self-care? How are you doing nutrition, fitness, sleep, productivity? What are you proud of yourself? All of this. Just like a cool little fun thing to kind of put in there. Then we have our manifestation list. When you're making a manifestation, I'll go over this further too, but I want you to put bullet points down. Instead of like stating it in the past tense or the present tense, do bullet points. So like car with green seats, new guy, hot abs, you know, or lots of cheese steak sandwiches this week. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm like trying to think of something. I'm like, hold on a second, my son. Sorry, I can hear my son in the background. Lord. Okay, and then what I want you to do before you even start going through the 8 keys of manifestation. Oh, we also have a shadow work page, right? So this is like if you're doing some prompts. I also sent you a shadow work prompting journal. So that's going to have like 20 something prompts. I don't want you to do those all in one day. I want you to do maybe one a day, and I want you to be really real with yourself. Like I think a lot of the times we live the life, or we like take tests on how we want to be, you know what I mean? Or we say things on how we want to feel and be, but it's not necessarily the case. I really want you to be really real and authentic. And if that means that your journal is super private and you don't let anybody see it, then so be it. But you have to like really get like uncomfortably raw with yourself, okay? Then what I go through in this is what I kind of work through with everybody here. So this is our core values sheet, okay? So when we go into the 8 keys of manifestation, which I have here, and you'll have this list as too. The first one, and they can be done in any order. That's why they're like a key instead of like a steps, right? But it's identifying your heart's authentic desire. You have to authentically be in alignment with yourself. So let's say you want to have a crap ton of money, and you want to have a ton of money because you want to have handbags and stuff like that, or Hermes handbags, or like Lamborghinis, things of that sort. This is just like really high scale, but you want to look at the really core of why you want those things. And again, I'm going through this quickly, so it's like not the full thing, but you get it. So you want to go through like, why do you feel that to your core, right? Because, you know, you could have somebody who really wants like Hermes bags or like, you know, Lamborghinis, but at the end of the day, they only want that because they want to seem like they are valued from other people. They want people to treat them with value because of that. And then you get down to the core of that and be like, oh, it's because I want this, right? So it's not necessarily the bag or the car, the fancy car you want, but it's to be valued from people around you. So you have to make sure that you're following your heart's authentic desire. So in order to follow your heart's authentic desire, you have to know your core values, okay? Core values are so important. I think this is really beneficial. Even if you and Blythe and Uriah and everybody does this, it's so important because what you do is you find out your core values and then you make decisions or manifestations based off of what you want. Hold on a second. Sorry. So you make decisions and manifestations based off of what your core values are. So it'll go through, it's a journaling prompt. So first, I'll read through them really quick. It's use these prompts to explore what excites, fulfills, and aligns you at the deepest level, right? It says, imagine you're financially set for life and you don't care what anyone thinks of you. How are you spending your time? You want to list 4 things, right? Then when do you feel most yourself? What are you doing? Who are you with? List 4 things. Like, be really honest within this. And sometimes people, I've even encountered people that I've been, or clients that I've worked with, where they're like, I don't know what I want with myself. I don't know. And if you don't know, that's also another thing in there and another vibe. Hold on, honey. It's 10 o'clock.
Take those diapers off.
Oh, Lord. We're back. Sorry, I had to go. It's 11 o'clock at night. They're still up. Anyways, so where was I at? So you have to be authentically yourself, right? And the journal prompts are finding your key values, core values. So let's talk about when you feel, if you had no restrictions or limitation, what would you create? List 4 things. What would you receive? List 4. What themes or patterns do you notice in content, books, movies that you like? What do you love most as a kid? How did you play? And then what I want you to do after you do all that, it states in here is that, and it says, from looking through these large journal prompts and be raw with yourself, sit down and write exactly how it is and how you feel, right? It says list 10 to 15 words that represents those themes. This might include concepts like freedom, creativity, adventure, spirituality, knowledge, security. I like to use this list for value, right? And there's example core values in here. So what you'll do is you write down and you narrow it down to like 10 or 15 and then choose your most highest 4 or 5, at the most 5. 4 or 5 values that you find within there. Mine was like family and connection, stability, knowledge, spirituality, and like creativity, I think. I don't remember how I'm written down. I mean, I think almost 90%, 99% sure that's what it was. But basically, once you do that, then you sit down and you describe how this value expresses itself in your life. So it's like, I find that I am my most authentic self when I am around my family and in my element. It brings me peace, it brings me joy, or I find that I can thrive the most whenever I am creative and I am doing creative things that apply to my life, which also apply to like creativity and spirituality. Like these things, like those are for myself. So that's what I would do. So then that's how you find your core values. And then you want to take, like I said, make a small paragraph about the top 4 to 5, right? Each. So it's like beauty. This is an example. This is what the AI wrote. This is, I would have shared you mine, but Cheryl moved my book. I allow myself to be pleased by life. I have freedom to choose. I live luxuriously and deliciously. I hold space for all beauty in life has to offer. I maximize pleasure, seek expansion through beauty, senses, sexuality, femininity, yeah, I think that's how you say, and aesthetic experiences. Beauty surrounds me in both extraordinary and everyday, and I fully allow myself to see, feel, and savor it. With alchemy, it's like I transform discomfort into comfort, poverty into abundance, things of that sort. So that's how it is within here. Connections. And then these values are the pillars of your authenticity. Everything in your manifestation list must come back to them in some way. This is one of the most important parts, is because you have to authentically feel it. You can't just say overnight, oh, I'm going to manifest winning the lottery, if bringing the lottery brings you situations that don't serve you, right? Which I don't think there's ever a time in the world when winning the lottery would be a bad thing, but still, you know what I mean? That was a really poor example. Okay. Next one, it says, state your intention to the universe and be specific. So when we're creating our manifestation list, I want you to be specific. Think about it this way, that you only get like 85% of everything that you wrote down, right? So let's say, like, I'm going to say I'm manifesting a black car, and I want it to be a Durango, and I want it to have tan leather seats, and I want it to have seat warmers and steering wheel warmers, and I want it to have a sunroof, and I want it to be this. But you don't want to say I want, right? You just write manifestation list: black Durango, beige seats, leather, sunroof, automatic, blah blah blah. You get my thing. Then you make it real, like, specific. I want it to have sparkly tire valve caps, just like really, really specific. Okay, we're talking like crazy. I want you say, when I get the vehicle, it has a Starbucks coffee in it from the dealership, because they're that accommodating. You know what I mean? Just do things like that. So you want to be very specific with it. The thing is that a lot of the times I found when my manifestation journey started that I didn't know what I wanted to manifest, right? I was like, well, I want to have a great life, but I really don't know what to manifest. And that's when you got to get right with who you are. When you're not in alignment with yourself and who you are, and you don't feel like you have value within your heart, nothing feels like it's going to come to you, right? So you have to get right within yourself and feel good about yourself. You have to feel worthy of yourself, and you got to heal yourself. And that's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest things that sets apart my course from everything else, is that you can't sit here and just do all these techniques that everybody talks about and not be right within. How you going to win if you ain't right within, right? So it says identifying and changing your subconscious beliefs. So this looks like, let's say that I want to make 6 figures a year, right? I want to make 6 figures a year. I don't know how I'm going to do it. That's not the important part. But what is limiting me from making that 6 figures? And it could be like, well, I think people who make 6 figures, they don't have a lot of time with their kids. Or I feel like people who make 6 figures are snobby, something like that. You get like these limiting beliefs that you have within yourself. Or like, I want to be an artist, but my dad told me when I was 10 years old that artists never make money, and I'll never ever be successful, because it's like a fish in an entire ocean in order to be successful. So what happens is a lot of the times your subconscious beliefs stem out from like your childhood. So you have to sit down and look and get really authentic with what your childhood entails. So it's like you have to think about what your self-limiting belief is, because it's a lot of the times your subconscious is what changes your manifestation. So your thoughts don't create your reality, your subconscious thoughts create your reality, right? So like you could sit here and think, oh my gosh, I don't want to go on this plane, it's going to be funky. Your thought of the plane having like an issue or something like that isn't going to like have the plane coming crashing down. It's your subconscious belief is what creates your reality. So our subconscious beliefs are like, like I don't feel like I'd ever be able to lose weight because, all my family has always been heavy since I was younger. Or I don't feel like I could have this brand new car because I've always lived in poverty, or like it just things of that sort. So you have these limiting beliefs, and you have to identify what they are, right? So let's say, for an example with you would you say like, I would like to make a lot of sales on my Etsy shop, right? But your self-limiting belief is thinking, oh, well, everybody in their first year has a slow start, right? That's a limiting belief. And that could be something that I even said to you, right? Or something along the lines of that. Even being realistic in that sense, you have to change your subconscious and self-limiting beliefs. The best way to do this, let's say that if we're going down deep into something like that, or like, let's say you felt like, or you feel like I can't find a partner because of like abandonment issues from like when you were a childhood. You have to go look into the basis of that and figure out where that self-limiting belief comes, and then you have to change that. And you can do that by like via meditation and changing things of that sort. So you can like change your meditation. Hold on, he's getting some water. So you can change your by like meditation, or you can go in and visualize like that time when like somebody told you that you were never going to amount to anything, and you change it into where they're telling you that you're worthy and stuff like that. Affirmations. This is how you change your subconscious limiting beliefs, and this is the hardest part in my opinion. Then you have to find role models. Okay, the next step is key is to find role models. Okay, so you want to find somebody who has what you have. Like for me, I want to have a successful 6-figure business, selling crystals and doing exactly what I love, having creativity, all of this stuff like that. Who are role models for me? There's a Kenneth Crystals on TikTok, right? There's Sage Goddess, Athena Parakis. Like I find these role models, I have pictures printed out of them, and I look at their life and I say, okay, well, it is obtainable. So you have to find your role models within things. The next one is embracing the void. You have to make space for the manifestation and release, right? So sometimes when we're manifesting things, you have to realize that sometimes the universe comes in and clears out things that no longer serve us. So sometimes right before our manifestation's about to hit, that's when the shit hits the fan, right? Things get kind of crazy for you. And you just got to make sure you're embracing that. Embracing like, hey, you know what? Things do change and I'm ready for this. Sorry, I needed a drink. The next one is to take action and don't wait. A lot of the times people think that they have to have everything in alignment in order to get what they want and what they need, right? Like they're like, I have to have all of the items ready for me, or I have to have a full inventory before I start this business and things like that. You just take action. You take action, take action, take action. Do not wait. Don't wait till it's perfect. Say, hey, I want to write this book. Write the book. Let the book be shitty and fix it later, but write the book, right? Take action. Don't wait. Just do it, right? Mm-hmm. Follow the synchronicities and intentions. Intuition. This is the next. There's only 2 more keys left. This is the second to last one. So you follow your synchronicities into intuition, right? So synchronicities look like you're getting signs from everything. It's not just angel numbers. Angel numbers, as much as I love them, they're not synchronicities unless they're coming 15 times in a row, right? I'm talking about you go home and you turn on the radio and it says, today your book becomes the most successful book ever, and then all of a sudden there is a poster on the walking home from work and you see, write your book today, take this writing class. Or you see somebody calls you up on the phone and says, I was just thinking about you, you should probably write this book, things of that sort. So it's the synchronicities that you find within there. So it's like, I want to make puppets. Like, oh, you want to make puppets? Yeah. It's like, let me see what I can do to make puppets. And all of a sudden you're driving home and you see a poster and it's like circus is coming into town. It's like, oh gosh, that's crazy. Like they make puppets, right? And then it's like your friend calls up and she's like, hey girl, I'm doing this workshop and they're making puppets in this workshop. Is there something that you do that you can help with? And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to make puppets, right? Or it's like, okay, well, I need to have a space in order to make puppets. So let me ask my landlord about it, if there's any space for me to like have this stuff, right? And the landlord comes out and says, oh my gosh, yeah, I have a space. Guess what? I used to use this space for making puppets. Like synchronicities like that. So they have to be very clear and they usually come within 3s, okay? Angel numbers are great. They're great and they are helpful, but I'm talking about like way clear synchronicities. And you also have to follow your intuition. So you have synchronicities and intuition. So like that's your intuition. Like they say you're driving home and you say like, oh, let's do this writing class. Like if you get in a synchronicity, like 3 different in a row and it says, hey, do this writing class, bro, do the writing class, right? Like, or if it's like a lot of money, you're like, I can't really swing this right now. Manifest it and figure it out because you're getting pushes and shoves from the universe, okay? Then, the last but not least is you have to pass the test that the universe gives. The universe is going to send you something really close to your manifestation, but you have to sit there and know that you're worthy enough not to receive it. So it's like, I want to make a 6-figure job, or let's say something very specific, like I want to go on a vacation, I want it to be $1,300, right? And the universe sends you a travel agent that you're talking to, and she says, well, it's going to be $2,600, but it's going to have everything you want. And you're like, well, it's not really meeting my manifestation, right? Like it's still not within that price range. Or it's like, And then I get somebody that's in the price range, and it's like, oh, but you're going to miss out on, you're not going to have a jacuzzi or something else that I would want within it, right? So you have to be willing to pass up these things in order to wait for the better thing, because it will come and you'll be able to get your manifestation. You have to have the belief that the universe will provide for you. So, for example, you can wait, and then all of a sudden you get everything, and it's under for $1,300. Your manifestation will come. It's like that with partners. It's like that with cars. Like if you want to have the perfect car, you have it done within a certain time. Things of that sort. So that's basically it. You have to get real with who you are and your identity shifting in order to see whether or not you want. After this, what you'll do is I want you to create your manifestation list, right? Excuse me, honey. Create your manifestation list. Bullet point everything. And I think if you print out like 5 things, I never knew what to start with. So I did like in 3 different areas. So I did money, I did career, and I did love, right? That's what I wanted to start off with. And then I did stuff that I wanted to do for fun, right? And I just added it into there, and then I figure things out from there. So it's like with work, like with my career, what do I want, right? And then what do I want with Etsy, and what do I want with TikTok, and what do I want with social media, things of that sort, right? Content creation, like, and then it's with car, what kind of car do I want? When do I want it? Things of that sort. And then like love, who do I want? What partner? What does my ideal partner look like? What do they sound like? What do they accept of me? And you be really specific. You can be like, I want them to, accept me for who I am and love me for just being awesome, right? And just very specific manifestations, right? And then once you're down there, I want you to get some role models. Like I said, role models, right? And you can get some pictures offline, or you can like put their names down here and star it up, right? Real good. Get role models of what you want. So even if it's like somebody that you know in specific, then I want you to get a vision board. I want you to take your manifestation list, and I want you to have your vision board. It can be bigger than this, it can be smaller than this, but it's going to be someplace you want to put it up. You can go in and get some magazines. You can go onto Pinterest and save a bunch of photos of things that you like, even aesthetic, like, right? Like of the house that you want. Or, you want to, let's say that you want to get a ramp, coming into the house, right? So like, find the ramp, and then find, like the person that creates the ramps, like, things like that. Be really specific about it, and then write like, I only want to pay $1,000 for it, like, and then be open to it, because you never know, you can say that happens, and then all of a sudden you're getting a grant from the government in order to get your ramp. You know what I mean, babe? So be very specific on your vision board. Make it like a collage. It's pretty when it's a collage, and then just pop it up on the wall, right? On my vision board, I like stuck it into other things. Like I want to write a book. I was like, I want to go to this place. I want to travel this place. Girl, let me tell you, it is April, and I've already completed like 2 of the things on my vision board, like places I want to go. I'm going on a freaking vacation. Haven't done that in 6 years. This is when you really take your manifestation seriously. It's like goal setting and then getting there. But yeah, so that's what we have there. If you have any questions, you reach out to me. This is on YouTube, so you can come back and see it, whatever. But yeah. Okay.